Hello, Servant fans, and welcome to our Servant podcast. We are your hosts, Bill and Sonja, and this is Observant. I still think that's really clever. On today's episode, our review of this episode, Rain, it's season 3, and I think it's the 4th episode, right?
Yep.
Okay. Who's the director?
This director was a man named Dylan Holmes Williams. He's a British screenwriter and film director he's based in London. He has a short film called The Devil's Harmony that was nominated for a Best British Short. And I guess his writing is dark, it's humorous, with a supernatural element. Perfect for a servant.
Yeah.
Anyone ever told you you have a tiny vocal range?
What?
And then this episode, did I say that he directed it? Right? I said he directed it. Okay. Because he directed it, and it was written by Laura Marks. And she has done work on Ray Donovan.
Oh, okay.
Which we loved.
Yeah.
And The Exorcist, not the original, the 2016 version, which I didn't even know there was a 2016
version.
version.
Check that out. Scariest movie I've ever seen in my life, The Exorcist.
Me too. Yeah. I saw that in Globe. If you really want to be scared, Globe, Arizona. See that movie in Globe. Yeah. First impressions. What did you think?
I thought it was bonkers. I loved it. I loved the episode. It had me like on the edge of my seat. It was very stressful, but in a good way. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
that's the
definitely.
word I'm looking for.
I'm not sure what the word you're looking for is, but I thought it was hectic.
That's it.
Oh, that was the word you were looking for?
Yeah. Hectic.
Hectic, yeah. So it was really intense.
Another one. Yes.
Yeah. And you really see the madness that occurs in the Turner home.
Right. It's just craziness all the way through. What's going on?
Got lipstick on the microphone.
Sounds like a song.
Well, the episode begins with Leanne.
Lipstick on the microphone.
I don't know what that song is.
All right, never mind.
It starts with Leanne in yoga pants.
We finally see her in normal clothes, right?
Right. Yeah.
Not looking like Little House on the Prairie.
Exactly. And even doesn't Dorothy even say something like, this is what normal people wear?
Yeah, which kind of goes back to what Leanne said in the kitchen to Sean, right? Like they'll dress how they think normal people dress, and I don't know.
Well, that's what she said to Sean in the kitchen. So she's like, and you can see my body. She's like, Leanne's got a little booty on her. Go, Leanne. She does. She got a little butt. So we also see a new room.
Yes.
In this
room in the house.
Right. What did you like? There was something you liked. It's got the mirrors there, which is kind of cool.
The walls are so cool. They're so distressed looking, but I just think the house is incredible. I love it. Yeah. Love all the woodwork, and I love how they tie the old crumbled up looking like walls and floors and stuff with the brand new elaborate woodwork, and I just love it. Love it.
I don't know if anything is brand new in that house. It seems like it's a historic
what I mean.
House, and back then, I think they made houses way more elaborate than they did today. I thought they did look a lot more woodwork.
Yeah.
In those, historic homes.
I think
that's
a lot of
the beauty of it.
That's why I appreciate that, and I love doing installing trim and molding, crown molding, and framing doors and things like that. So I notice that stuff in every show we watch, but yeah.
You noticed something in that episode that I didn't notice the first time we watched it. So you noticed when Leanne was looking out the window.
Yeah.
What was it?
In the beginning, she looks out the window, and there's the homeless kids are camped out there, right? And as soon as she looked out, if you all go back and notice, there's one of the girls she's like in the mouth of a tent. She points at Leanne and tells everybody, look, she's there.
There she is.
And then that's when everyone else looks up at her.
There's our Messiah.
Yeah. Or there's the one we need to get rid of. I got the impression that the Turner's house is like under siege. You know, like in the old days, the enemy army would surround the house and cut off all resources until they give up. And, you know, I don't know what they're cutting off, but, you know, they definitely have laid siege to the house.
Yeah, interesting.
And I'm just getting
there seems to be more and more of them coming, too.
Yeah.
You're getting the impression that what?
And we talked about it a little bit last time, and on the last video, some people made comments about it, and you know, we got to interact a little bit on about this. But I think they're not the bad guys. They're not the cult, maybe, but they seem to be focused on Leanne for some reason, and I'm starting to feel like maybe they're wanting to protect the Turners from her, which is odd. That's kind of an impression I'm getting, but I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see. So I did notice, I love how M. Night Shyamalan, he really encourages and supports his daughters with their creative outlets or just their careers, you know. So I don't know if you guys noticed, it's a Salika Shyamalan was singing his daughter in the background as Vivian Dale. There is no real Vivian Dale.
Right, it's a character.
It's a character. So,
but that character's her, basically.
Right. She has a nice voice.
Yeah, she does.
She does. I think she's pretty good. Yeah. At this point, Leanne proclaims she's not a good dancer and then talks about her mom.
Yeah. It wasn't a nice talk either.
Yeah, because Dorothy's like, well, why would you say that? And then you had mentioned that Leanne is showing signs of trauma.
No, she definitely is. She is talking about her mom's abuse to her. And then obviously this whole time, she's trying to get Dorothy to be her mom, basically, you know, and then do mother-daughter things. And this yoga thing that they're doing, this exercise, seems to be important to her. Of course, Dorothy keeps bailing out on it. Like,
I know, she's so disappointed.
Yeah,
Dorothy bails out this time because Sean yells for Dorothy. There's a lot of yelling in this episode. Dorothy yells downstairs to Sean to meet the safety guy.
The safety guy's creepy.
So, and then first thing you said when you saw the safety guy was what? He was a scammer. You said he was a scammer.
Yeah, he definitely seems like he's scamming them. I mean, he's doing what they're asking for, of course, but he's playing it up. I see 15 deadly hazards. Yeah,
16, including Dorothy.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
he's talking about furniture falling and that 100 kids die from electrocution. Did you know that an average, since we're speaking of statistics, let's talk about statistics.
Right.
38 children die each year from heat stroke after being left in a vehicle.
I did not know about that.
I had no idea 38? That many. 38.
I was all this time thinking, how can you be such a Dorothy? How can you be so dim to leave your kid in the car? But 38 people a year.
Well, remember that episode
is that just in the United States, or is that
was the United States?
Oh,
yeah.
My God.
Yeah. Remember Sean was like, it happens more than you think. It was so.
I thought you were just being nice.
But did you know that leaving a young child in the car for longer than a few minutes, though, is an action that many states will find criminal? Like harsher charges are possible if the child is left in the car for over 4 hours. So
how can that happen, man?
Well, I think that's what happened with Dorothy. It seemed like, how long? It seemed definitely like he was left Jericho was left in the car longer than more than 4 hours.
Like all day until the evening. But I just how, having been a single dad, I just don't understand. You know?
Yeah, it's hard to wrap my mind around how you leave your child in the car.
Right.
Forget
I mean,
about him.
if he was quiet for more than 5 minutes, I was like,
But for 4 hours, or
Right.
for more than 4 hours, I just.
Well, you know, too, if your kid's quiet for 5-10 minutes, you're like, I got to check. What's going on? What are they doing? What are they up to? You know?
Oh my
Anyway.
goodness. But back to the power struggle between these two women. There's definitely a power struggle between Leanne and Dorothy. It's
And Leanne
like who loves the baby. Yeah, who loves Jericho more? Yeah, Leanne definitely is winning.
Even the creepy guy, Mr.
Did they say his name? They just kept saying the safety guy.
Yeah, Mr. Safety Guy is what I was going to say. He even said, like, oh, the babysitter rules the roost, huh? You know?
Yeah, she tells Dorothy to feed Jericho when he's hungry.
Cut him off during their conversation. And
Yeah. And then I think that time we said, oh, she really rules the roost. I think you had mentioned she wanted to get away from that creepy guy.
Well, that was before that.
Or was that later?
Yeah, Leanne kind of bust in when she heard them talking about all the things that could happen to Jericho, like, you know,
that when they're in the kitchen,
locks on this, the doors, and we're going to put locks on the burners. And he's like, hey, I'm a professional chef. I can't have that stuff in my way.
That's right.
She busts in, and it was kind of like, you don't need any of this.
That's right.
Because as long as I'm here, nothing's going to happen to Jericho.
Oh, that's true.
And it was just like, wow. So that's when he busted out the she rules the roost thing. You know, obviously an inappropriate comment. Sean got uncomfortable and it shut the guy up. And you could tell he was like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. Yeah. This guy definitely, though, inappropriate the whole time.
Yeah, he was giving off a rapey vibe for sure.
Ooh, not just creepy.
Rapey.
Oh, there ain't nothing worse.
You thought creepy was bad. Rapey is worse.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
well, back to that scene where Dorothy is trying to take the easy way out and not breastfeed anymore. She suggests to Leanne, the idea of feeding formula, and formula is like, no, you're just not sticking to your schedule. You need to drink more water. He needs his mother. And then Dorothy snaps at her, like totally snaps, like, it's fine.
She was pushing the water. Like, drink this right now. She wouldn't do it. You know.
So one thing is for sure, that sweet mother-daughter vibe is quickly devolving.
Yeah, Dorothy's kind of reverting back to her me stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, when we were watching, I loved it because you yelled, "It's Vera!" It was really Toby. You're just not right for that.
Yeah, I just think Vera and Toby look alike. You know. So yeah. Yeah, bad joke on my part, but still pretty funny.
But we're definitely greeted, and Sean is greeted by a familiar face, his old assistant, Toby.
Yeah, but he's got some, I don't want to say baggage along with him, but it's appropriate. He's got a new girlfriend. Her name's Sylvia. And basically, you could tell she's pushed him to what did Sean say, foist? Trying to foist her onto him as a new kitchen assistant, you know, because she's spent a year at Jean George, and you know she's worked with some you know, some big time chefs and all that.
You said you loved her. She got some good knife skills.
She had incredible knife skills. So I think the whole point of that is just showing she is way better assistant than Toby will be. You know, so she's kind of pushing him out. She also was like being real nasty towards him. She, you know, those people, everybody's got these people at their jobs that to make themselves look better, they try to make someone else look bad.
Right.
So she definitely was doing that to Toby and trying to impress Sean, pointing out everything Toby was doing wrong, yelling at him, kind of taking command. Maybe she's just trying to show that she's a strong leader in the kitchen or whatever. I don't know.
By the way, I love the way Sylvia says, so in that when Sylvia first gets there and she's trying to sell herself
Yeah.
to Sean in the kitchen.
Right.
She says sometimes people don't realize how much help they need until it's too late.
Yeah. She actually cut him off and said that she was controlling that conversation, which I thought was funny. But yeah, I mean, is that a harken back to Dorothy needing so much help that she killed her baby?
Yeah, I thought it was a clever way, a clever like wink to season 1, the Jericho episode, when Dorothy was looking to hire a nanny, but it was too late.
Yeah.
You know, if they would have hired the nanny prior to Sean leaving, maybe that wouldn't have happened.
Definitely wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
But so my question to you is, do you think that, and to you guys, do you think that was just a coincidence that she said that? Maybe the writers and producers throwing that in there, or does she know? Does she know something about them? And, I know we maybe just being paranoid because
we're paranoid like Leanne.
Yeah. Well, like we think the people in that mommy group, a couple of them we thought were reporters. We think Vera is in cahoots with the reporters, so then the Sylvia comes in. Maybe they're obviously showing that she's using Toby. Even Leanne says she doesn't really like you, and it seems obvious she doesn't like him. She was saying, even he got her a ring and she didn't have it on this hand, and she's just like, oh, this hand's just for diamonds, like she's treating him pretty badly. So maybe she just used him to get into the house.
Yeah. That's a good point. I think it could happen. I feel
like I got a tinfoil hat on. Know what I'm saying? Like I'm going a little too far.
Maybe
she's just trying to get to Sean, because she wants it.
I think she just wants the job.
Yeah.
So that's but you might be right. I just think she's a fan of Sean because she brings up also Sean's appearance on Gourmet Gauntlet, which is also kind of a throwback to season 1.
Yeah. Jericho Wells. So she has 2 callbacks to that episode.
Right.
Yeah.
So then Sean, politely, he declines. What does he say, that word you said? He's
foist. Yeah. Well, he didn't necessarily decline. He just said, I'll think about it. I'll keep it in mind. But then afterwards, he's like, what the hell is that? Why is Toby knows better than to try to foist a cook on me?
Yeah. And he asks Leanne to help make candy for the catering event that's happening the next day. And Leanne, of course, jumps at the opportunity. She's ecstatic. She loves cooking with Sean. And but Dorothy, everything comes second to Dorothy, of course.
Yeah. Me too.
Announces that she's back in the game.
Right. So she had
back in the game. In-depth report on the street murals downtown.
It was in this episode or last episode. She took a meeting with her job to say, "Hey, look, I want to get back in."
No, it was this episode.
Okay, because she was jealous that the other girl got
Isabel
got a spot that she's been doing for 8 years, and she felt like she was being replaced. So, yeah, she asked for more responsibility and got a job covering some graffiti artists. And, of course, everything revolves around Dorothy. So now Leanne's got to help her instead. And,
Well, she's got to take care of Jericho. So she needs to bow out of helping Sean.
Which I don't think she was happy about.
Yeah.
You know?
No, obviously not, by the way. She was helping Dorothy get dressed with those. She was help buttoning up her shirt, and she kind of
she tugged. She was. It looked like she was intimidating her. And it goes back to how we've been talking about Leanne kind of showing the cult-like mentality. If she's raised in a cult, that's how she knows how to interact. But everything is coercion and intimidation tactics, and shaming and things like that. That's how she knows how to interact with a family. So she's doing it to the Turners. Now, is it just as simply as that? Is like that's all she knows? Or is she purposely doing this like she's trying to be the leader of the pack and she knows that's how a cult leader does it?
Oh.
Yeah. So it could just be innocent, this is all I know, or it could be like,
yeah, is she conniving or is it all orchestrated or?
Right.
I don't know. This episode and in this scene as well, which happens right about the same time, it's a lot of projection going on. Like Dorothy projects onto Leanne because she was watching Isabel on TV.
Right.
You know, she's telling Leanne that Leanne needs to find her own place in life, maybe even go back to school.
Mm-hmm. Be her own woman, all this kind of stuff. And then Leanne is doing a lot of projection when she pulled Toby aside.
Right.
And this is another thing. You had mentioned, like, did we see this outside area before? Is this a new area?
This is a new area with the vines.
The side of the house?
The side of the house.
Yeah. So very cool. But she's out there like, why do you let them talk to you like that? And, you know, they just want something from you. And you know what I mean? So I think she was projecting there. She was really talking about herself. Yeah.
Yeah. And then a disappointed Leanne because she's not able to cook with Sean. They're sitting, so now talking about when Leanne and Dorothy are sitting outside on the stoop.
Yeah, well, Leanne was sitting out there.
Oh, no, yeah, Leanne was
down,
right.
Dorothy came out and found her.
Right, yes.
Like, oh, good for you getting fresh air out here.
Yeah, and then she gives a passive aggressive, are we still friends?
Right.
That's what Dorothy says as she rides off.
Yeah. Well, the poignant part of that, I thought, was, are we still friends? She gets a hug. Okay, cool. We're about to have another mother-daughter type
especially
thing.
the way she puts her head on her, on her shoulder, and then
chest.
Boom,
she's gone off to her meeting, you know?
Yeah.
And she was obviously disappointed, like, what? Where are you going? You know? Yeah. So we see patterns here of Dorothy disappointing Leanne as a mother figure. You know?
Definitely a difference of the way Dorothy treats Leanne versus the way Sean treats Leanne.
Right. Sean seems very genuine and caring about Leanne, and Dorothy treats her like the help.
Treats her like that, and she's starting to look at her kind of like she's realizing she's dealing with somebody really unstable. Though really Dorothy's the unstable one. Maybe they're both unstable.
They are both unstable.
Right about this time, we see the guy that you think broke in the house.
Which, you guys, I'm starting to question myself on that. Maybe it wasn't the guy. You know, yeah. I was pretty sure at first, but maybe not now. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, he walks up on Leanne. Kind of in a scary way, too, right?
He looked like gingerly walked up. He walked up kind of slowly, like...
Yeah, but it was like
just want to talk to you.
He looked like he's intending to harm her, you know? And she runs into the house, and like he just wanted to talk.
What do you think he wanted to talk to her about?
I don't know. I mean, let's talk about that in the comments. What do you guys think? You know, was he going to say, hey, you know, you need to let go of these people, you know, we'll give you a chance to leave before we attack you? Or are they drawn to her and like, hey, we want you to lead us? You know, I got this weird thought that maybe she is whatever Aunt May is. You know, maybe they draw these resurrected people. I don't want to call them zombies, but you know, almost like they're like the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, right? And they all have a group of zombies with them. Like maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I'm grasping for straws here. But what do you think he wanted to say?
Oh gosh, I don't know what he wanted to say. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
let's talk more about Sylvia, because I mean, this people were asking for more action and asking for something to happen. A lot of people have been, especially younger folks, have been complaining about that. So, because Dorothy took Leanne from Sean, he had to begrudgingly hire Sylvia as an assistant. But as he finds out, she's fantastic.
Right. She's foul-mouthed. She's abrasive.
She is.
But she is
she's a good
fantastic
cook.
With those knife skills.
And she's preparing for everything properly. She's way more knowledgeable than Toby, as we could tell, because, he cuts things. There's certain ways of cutting, you can say you julienne them, or you matchstick them, or you this or that. And he was doing it incorrectly. And she snapped at him and, basically showing Sean that, hey, I know what I'm doing. This guy doesn't,
Right.
I'm the better one. So, anyway.
Toby, when they were like doing that scene and she was cutting everything up, Toby did suggest to Sylvia that she take the ring off because the acid could etch the stone.
Which she seems to think the ring is no big deal anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So while this is going on, I think Leanne is drawn into the other room by the security manager.
The safety guy, you mean?
The creepy
safety guy?
Yeah, the creepy, the rapey guy.
Yeah.
And
this is the part I was about to talk about earlier, because this is where he starts making advances on her. He's hitting on her. She's a kid, he's an older guy, obviously.
He's like, how old are you?
Yeah, which I don't think mattered at all. She would have said 18 or 16, but obviously she's underage to go to the clubs downtown. And he mentions his friend has a club, and he gets way too close, and does the whole put his arm on the wall thing, which no girl likes.
She manages to flee. She gets away upstairs.
Yeah, but he's mentioning, I can get you in this club regardless of your age, which is just scummy.
Yeah, she's creeped out.
I was hoping she was going to say something like,
Something she was going to do something to him.
Do you want this job really? Or I tell Sean you're fired or something.
Off or something.
Oh.
I got a little extreme, but
go that far yet. I mean, he's just hitting on her.
That's true. Maybe cut his tongue out.
No, it's too much.
Splinter? Can he at least get a splinter?
He can get a splinter.
Okay.
And his tongue.
Okay.
How's that?
Okay.
It's compromise. Jeez.
Oh my gosh. But there was a really powerful scene right after that when she's leaving him and she goes upstairs. Yeah. She's yelling in the wall where
It's my fault, right? Because I look like a whore. Are you happy now? Are you happy?
where the dead Josephine resides.
Because their whole thing was, a typical kind of evangelical religious upbringing. It's the girl's fault. This guy's hitting on you because of the way you're dressed. You're showing your body. This is what happens. So, she's yelling at Aunt Josephine like, "Oh, you're happy now, huh? It's because I'm dressed like a whore, huh?" Which she knows is wrong, but that's been pounded into her since birth. So
a damaged person,
rebirth or whatever. Who knows?
Right? Yeah. By the way, in that conversation with the creepy security guy, he asked if she likes Zumba.
Oh, that's right.
I hate Zumba, people. Oh my gosh, I hate it. Anyway,
why do you hate it?
I just don't like all that gyrating. It just feels weird doing it by yourself. I can't stand it. I feel stupid. You don't like
doing it in classes either, right? It's
I
just
feel
silly.
stupid. I love doing classes, but I don't like Zumba.
That's funny.
So anyway, Leanne goes back downstairs where Toby is still berated by Sylvia.
Yeah. Just being
Sylvia totally reminds me of Rasputia from Norbit in Norbit. That's how she's treated.
That's how she's treating him for sure. Okay, so the one part where Dorothy calls and Sean interrupts Toby and Leanne and says, "Hey, Leanne, it's Dorothy." Throws her the phone and she's asking her questions and obviously asked her what Jericho ate because she said, sweet potato or whatever. And she like guides her to the TV, like go turn on the TV. And that shows Dorothy doing an interview, right?
Something seems wrong.
Yeah, and she's not quite right at that point. Like she's like got that 1,000-yard stare Dorothy gets, and the guy who D. Wills, the graffiti artist that she was interviewing, notices something's wrong with her. He's like asking her, "Hey, are you okay?" Which I thought was weird because I didn't think she was being that odd at that point. Like, why wouldn't you just answer the question? But maybe
because she wasn't like looking at him. Maybe that's odd that somebody's interviewing you and they're not looking at you. They're looking away. Maybe,
but if that happened to me, I would just keep going.
Right.
I would like ask, but nevertheless. So the question is like, did Leanne make that happen because she was mad at Dorothy, or?
For leaving
again, just a coincidence.
Leaving the family,
obviously,
leaving Jericho.
Leanne was mad. She was upset when she turned on the video, like, or turned on the TV.
Yeah, but I'm gonna call it a segue a little bit here. Okay. I love that Servant is celebrating Black History Month. There really is an Ida B. Wells. Barnett. Have you heard of her before?
Absolutely.
Okay, good for you.
That were happening in the South against African Americans.
So, and she was one of the founders of NAACP. So anyway,
nice. You learned something.
Yeah.
Oh, what about your boy?
Walter. I love Walter. Has always cracked me up. Walter is the African American news anchor. Yeah, he has the best expresens.
When it cuts to him, when something weird happens,
it is like so funny. So like on this one, when after Dorothy, her blouse gets wet because
that was the next part, right?
Yeah, but because she screams,
she starts lactating.
Yeah.
In front of the dude.
And she yells, but Walter is just staring like, it's so funny.
Yeah. So, and that's kind of like the end of Dorothy's career as we know it, right? And Julian even mentions it. He comes over to the house and he shows Sean what happened, and I mean, just
that really
the worst thing that could happen.
You think that would really ruin her career, though?
Yeah. I mean, if you think, like, I'm sure the people would get over it, and especially, women, mothers would be like, hey, that's a natural thing to happen, embarrassing, it happened to her on TV, but they would support her. But, they're already, the powers that be at the news station.
It seems like they're already trying to get rid of her.
They're already, like, downplaying her position. They're putting, what's her name, Isabel in more and more and more, and Dorothy's erratic anyway, what I mean? At best, she's like really flaky. So it looks like they're working her out. And then this happens, like that's a great excuse to just be like, you need time off. See ya,
Right. She knows that.
Take a leave of absence. Yeah. Well, even Julian just says it. He goes, she's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
So back to that scene. Right after that scene, Leanne walks into a tornado situation in the kitchen. Like it's just like chaos in there. It's really chaotic. The caterers are there to pick up the food. The security manager is moving all sorts of things around because there's another guy there.
The safety guy.
there's
Why are we telling this guy the security manager?
I don't know, because they say he was a
Creepy
security
safety
manager.
guy.
Yeah, but there's another guy there.
Well, that's his worker.
Okay.
The carpenter.
Okay.
Because he said he's going to have to pay the carpenter overtime.
All right.
You know.
Sylvia screaming at Toby like a psycho.
Yeah.
And then
Because he gave the ceviche to the caterers too early.
right. And then Leanne spills the
I thought that was the Jericho's
it was
sweet potato.
it was
Wasn't
yeah, it
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah, she spills that on the floor. So I think when Sylvia is yelling at Toby like a psycho,
Yeah.
it reminds Leanne of her mom.
Yeah. Leanne's getting like, she looks like she has PTSD. She's tripping. She's almost like ready to shut down, it looks. And then, I mean, did you see some symbolism in there with the
I saw
spilling of the sweet potato?
Yeah, with
'Cause
the
it
color,
felt-
color, M. Night usually has a meaning when he shows colors.
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan usually, like Unbreakable and Glass, the primary colors represented comic books.
Okay.
Yellow, like a mustard color, comes from religious ceremonies that society has always used, like Hindu. They're that mustard color, like the monk robes. Remember when we were in Thailand? They were that color.
Okay.
They were that color of
that's
mustard.
Right, that's right.
So that's what I took from that.
Huh.
I tried, looks like the other colors that were used in this episode were a lot of blues. And then I didn't see a lot of green, but green is like life-giving.
Sure.
So if you guys notice some colors in these episodes or noticing some different colors, let us know what you think, what it means.
All right, let's get to the part we've been waiting this whole time to talk about. Right, while Sylvia is just snapping at Toby and just being awful, and Leanne's stressing out, so we don't know, like, is Leanne going to do something? Like, she looks like she's about to snap and do something. Sylvia slips on the spilt sauce. The ring that that Toby gave her gets caught on the hook,
The taffy hook.
and she falls.
Right.
And then we find out that ring cut her finger off.
Yeah, her
Now,
finger is completely severed.
I've had that happen to me.
You had your finger severed?
Well, no. But I've had my finger get caught, doing carpentry. And I had a ring on, so I don't wear rings anymore. It got caught on a nail as I fell and cut pretty deep into my finger.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it came
Lucky
close
you didn't use it.
Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of earlier when Toby said, I want you to wear it on the other hand. She's not going to be wearing no diamonds on that finger for her. At least not, at least on that finger, no
Especially
diamonds.
what happened to the finger.
Oh my God, yes, because Panic Toby tries to salvage. Well, Sean is yelling at him like, "Find the finger. Where's the finger? We can reattach it." Toby's trying to look for it, and I don't know. Did you guys notice? Because I didn't notice that Sean actually is the one that hit the finger into the garbage disposal.
Sean with the rag in his hand knocks it into the garbage disposal.
Yes.
And then Toby accidentally hits the switch.
Yes.
And it's the blood spurts out at him. But that was Sean who knocked the finger.
And then only the ring is left. So
hey, I got to say, that's the greatest garbage disposal ever, because I know ours.
She would have still had a finger. It may have been a little mangled.
Yeah,
couple
it had
marks
a couple
on
of marks, but yeah.
But yeah, she would have still had a finger.
Yeah. Their garbage disposal ate it up in seconds.
Oh my gosh. But that was such a cool shot, though.
Oh, it was when when Toby is putting his hand down into the garbage disposal. Like, what a unique shot. That's one thing I really love about Servant is the cinematography.
Oh, the cinematography.
And they do things that are just a trip. Like last episode, they had the shot from up above, Julian and his buddy, when they were talking about, it was the park gym you know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Roscoe, right?
Yeah.
Him and Roscoe.
The
and
gym
it was looking
equipment.
great. I mean, these shots are great.
Yeah.
And like, look at that. Like, who would have thought to put the camera in the garbage disposal?
It was so awesome. And then his hand going down.
Yes.
But the camera work is always so quirky. The cinematographer is named Michael Goulakis.
Is it the same guy every time? Or?
Geolakis. I think it's different. No, I think he's been the same for all the seasons.
Well, he's great. He's great. I like how he takes risks.
Yeah.
Does things that are very different.
Always has unique shots, different angles.
Yeah.
So, but that's my biggest fear though, is my hand. Like every time I stick my hand in the garbage disposal, I'm always like so afraid. I know it's not going to come on.
You always
but
ask me to do it. And I was like, I was always wondering why. Like, okay, I'll do it.
Oh my gosh, that is so.
That's your biggest fear, huh?
Yeah, one of my biggest fears.
Well,
but it happens. It happens all the. You're sticking my hand on the garbage disposal all the time. But so afraid that it might come on. Oh goodness.
Well, it does feel like karma, doesn't it?
What?
Her getting her finger zipped off after being such a creep, right? Question again, did Leanne do that? Mm-hmm. Or is it just...
It's an accident.
Coincidence. Like, we're looking into every little thing, It could be just an accident, but,
Yeah.
So, we see Dorothy come in just very depressed, heavily depressed. Maybe even in shock at just how bad the day went. Like, probably couldn't have went any worse. She confides in Sean as though, she feels something's out to get her. She doesn't feel right. She should be happy. Since she did mention getting their baby back.
Well, she said ever since we got Jericho back, because remember the last season.
I guess she probably means because they kidnapped him.
Right. She thought she could. Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
I think a lot of people thought she was thinking, because I saw a lot of comments about it in the different groups as far as like her realizing, and I know this can be, there's a lot of misunderstandings and, that's what's fun to do these videos and kind of clear those up sometimes. I mean, not that we're always right, but, certain things we are. For example, she's talking about, one thing that was being misinterpreted a lot was, when Toby was, or Julian was trying to tell her about that night. And they thought it was the night Jericho died. And it wasn't. It was the night that he overdosed and died,
Exactly. He said the night I died.
Yeah. So he went.
I saw Jericho. I saw Jericho.
Supposedly the other side. And he saw Jericho over there. And he's like, that's why he, he feels that that's not Jericho. Jericho's, in the afterlife or whatever.
Right.
But, there's a lot of things like that. And, this time it was her saying, when we got him back. And people were thinking, oh, she realizes. Like, no, she's just talking about
she didn't realize nothing.
The cult had him or whatever.
Right,
right. She's still in full-on denial,
Yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, Leanne is doing an interpretive dance in her room, which she looked great, actually.
It looked like she was, I was like, all right. But there's a weird thing that happens here. And I'm gonna have a problem here with, M. Night and producers. I don't know if this was a continuity error or they did it on purpose or whatever, but did any of y'all notice this? She's in there. They're making it look like as she's doing this dance, the homeless kids down there were starting to gather in numbers. And they're looking up at the window. At one point, we even see her in the window from their point of view. But when she's in there dancing, it's light outside. That's not just a lamp light. Like, that's full-on daylight. Go check it out. That was daylight coming through the windows. But when we look outside and the kids are all looking up, it's night. So they just screw up. Continuity errors happen all the time.
Yeah.
Is it intentional for some reason?
Yeah, I don't know if it would make sense if there was a big light outside her window, but it looks like sunlight's coming through.
Yeah, it's not lamplight though, you know.
Right.
That's definitely sunlight. You know, you can see it reflected off the wall. Yeah, so weird, unless they were trying to make some statement. But, you know, I
just
don't
got a little bit too creative, too artsy, and
Too
it didn't make
artsy.
sense.
yeah. Or are they going to go back and go, oh, crap, like we didn't think about that.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
Which happens. So,
Well,
anyway.
this episode Ring was depressing as all get out.
Depressing, but
It was depressing, but it was great.
shocking.
Yes.
It was just like, wow. You know what I mean? So I liked it.
I loved it. I liked it. I think Leanne has got this family under control for the most part.
She's definitely the leader. She even says one point, the only thing that matters to me is this family.
Right.
And Dorothy even gave her like a whoa. Look. You know. So anyway.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So I guess my question to you guys is, what do you think Leanne is?
Yeah.
What do you think? What is Leanne? Is she like Aunt May? What is Aunt May? You know, why are these kids being drawn to her? Why do you guys think these kids are being drawn to her?
Yeah. Did they take the dagger to get at Leanne, or to keep her from? You know what I mean? Like there's two things. If they're part of the cult, then they took the dagger so she couldn't stab the next one that comes in with it. Or they took it so they can get her with it, you know? Because that's like the only thing that can kill them, right?
It seems like
I
it.
think. Isn't that what it
I
was?
mean, that's why I was in
alluded to?
that box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a little ceremony ritual.
Quite
But
an ending.
yes,
You know, quite an ending.
to that episode. Please join us again for another episode of Observant. Because next week we have Tiger and the Turners are attending a block party. So,
Well, if you enjoyed our review, be sure to like and subscribe. The more folks we get, the better we can, you know, put out more videos and all that good stuff. And then more people to talk to. I want to shout out somebody real quick here, if that's okay.
yeah, absolutely.
I was just going back and looking at stuff, and one of the people that has participated the most into the discussions, and I always love to interact, is one of our subscribers named Janice Jacobina. Pretty cool. So thanks for all the participation. We really appreciate it. And we'll see y'all next week.
Bye.